Thank you, Zanola. Every time we have a bid process, everybody wants to know, can my bid be kept confidential from my competitors? As a governmental entity, DFW Airport is subject to what's known as the Texas Open Records Act, which is the state equivalent of the Federal Freedom of Information Act. As a general rule, our documents are public, people can request them, and for a small fee they can obtain copies even of your bids. However, there are two exceptions under the law that should be of interest to you. One is that in the context of a bid process, we are allowed to withhold documents. There's a procedure we have to follow. We have to submit a request to the Texas Attorney General to basically agree with us that these particular documents fit the exception and that we're allowed to withhold them. However, that exception goes away once the contract is awarded. So you may be asking, well, how do I know that my bid won't become public information after the contract is awarded? There is another exception under the law that should be of interest to you. It's one dealing with trade secrets and certain commercial or financial information. If you designate certain parts of your bid package as either a trade secret or confidential commercial information, we might be able to withhold it. And I'm going to go down a list of factors that the Attorney General has adopted in determining whether something is or is not a trade secret. First of all, they look at the extent to which the information is known outside of your company's business. Two, the extent to which it is known by employees and others involved in the company's business. In other words, if it's something that every janitor in your company knows, it's not likely to be a trade secret. If it's known only at a higher level, it's more likely to be held as a trade secret. Number three, the extent of measures taken by your company to guard the secrecy of the information. Four, the value of the information to your company and to your competitors. Five, the amount of effort or money expended by your company in developing the information. And six, the ease or difficulty with which the information could be properly acquired or duplicated by others. If it's something they can just go on the internet and find, it's not a trade secret. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the distinction is between a trade secret and confidential commercial information, but the Attorney General does make a distinction. They have a very general test for determining whether something is commercial. If it is confidential, if disclosure of the information is likely to cause substantial harm to your competitive position, but it requires a specific factual or evidentiary showing. You can't simply make the conclusory statement that this will hurt my competitive position. You're going to have to be in a position to prove it. Now, there's no point in telling your attorneys to send us a confidentiality agreement to sign. Your rights are established by Texas law. We're going to post a few pages from the Attorney General's Public Information Handbook on our website so you can read them, your lawyer can read them and study them and know what your rights are and what the procedures are. Again, you simply need to designate which parts of your bid package you believe qualify as either trade secrets or confidential commercial information. And if we get a request for copies of your bid, we will, if you so designate them and want us to go through the procedure, we will submit a request to the Attorney General to withhold them and let the Attorney General decide. If the Attorney General disagrees, suit can always be filed in a district court to obtain a fact finding, but that's going to be your burden to carry. So again, we will post these so you can study them. And if there are any other legal questions that you have right now, I'll try to answer them. I'm going to be involved in answering the bid questions you have. I don't know if you've had a chance. Have we circulated the lease?
Yes, it is. It's a part of that. And we'll go over that in a moment. Okay.
I apologize for having to leave early. I've got another meeting back at the admin building.
Thank you very much. Okay. Also in the audience is our representative from Audit, and Mr. Rob Darby. Don't know where you are. I can't see you out there. Oh, there he is. With that being said, I'm actually just going to keep this moving and want to share with you just some lessons learned from Terminal D. We looked at Terminal D and we said, what are some of the things that we can improve upon? What do we want to replicate? The first thing, which I think is really, really important, is that in Terminal D we had specified contractors that you had to use because we are on such a timeline. You will be able, in Terminal A and future terminals, be able to select which contractor you want to use. So from a competitive bidding process and being able to come up with that, I think that that's a great win. Some other things which were some issues. One was the cladding. There was a lot of finish out that was required. In this new program, the board will be providing neutral frame, so those are some additional cost savings. We are looking to replicate some of the design elements, the mix of Terminal D in terms of ensuring that we have a better mix of retail to food and beverage. So that's why you see a lot of retail out there. In addition, larger spaces. So we try to take some of those lessons learned and benchmarking some of the great things to put into this program. Just another thing, just for those of you who may not have participated in an airport environment in the past but have done non-traditional, the costs are pretty similar in terms of the things that you can see above the line. However, you need to know that there are a lot of things below the line. And it's real important because we don't want folks to say, well, gee, I didn't know that these costs were out there. I didn't know that I had to do additional build-out costs, that it was going to cost so much for employees, and so on and so forth. I don't want anyone to be misled. Please read all the documents that are in your lease as well as on the website so that you become familiar with what the cost structures are. And with that, I am going to show a video.